What up, world? I'm Brother Prodigy. Today's date is April 19th. April 19th, 2015. And the topic of this installment is the Angel of Pisces and the exodus of the Age of Pisces in relation to the zodiac. We're going to be talking about some esoteric information in this installment, alright? Now, things are changing rapidly in what we perceive to be our reality, right? Economies all around the world are fluctuating. Racial tensions are increasing, and many feel like something's about to happen. Now, are we living in the end times? Are we on the brink of an apocalypse? Why does the Mayan calendar end on December 31st, 2012? See, and I'll be getting into all of that and more in this installment. So I'd just like to just ask you to buckle up, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. But before I really get into it, I want to start off by telling you all how I receive the revelations that I receive and what goes into creating these abstract installments, because I've had a few people ask me that. And let me actually answer that question, while at the same time give you some information on my personality profile, okay? And hopefully you can understand a little bit more about Brother Prodigy. By nature, I'm an intuitive feeler, okay? The intuitive feeler is a creative learner. The intuitive feeler often lacks aptitude for both logic and memorization. I have a bad memory, if you all can understand that or not. I have a really bad memory. But the intuitive feeler is most at home in the abstract and learns best through metaphors, building new learning on a structure of comparison with other concepts. I like to compare certain concepts with other concepts, and I'm really good at recognizing patterns, okay? No matter how off they are or seem to be. And unfortunately, too many of us, those that are also intuitive feelers, don't really succeed in school to get to the point of contributing to the extent of their potential, okay? But yes, I am an intuitive feeler, and you can look that up. You can Google that to find out more information on how my mind works, in a way, if you will, okay? And for more information, you can Google a man by the name of David Keirsey. That's Keirsey. And you can load your boat with information, because he goes on and codifies various personalities into categories. So if you ever get the chance, check out his material, okay? Because in relation to me, I might be in the process of looking up something that is seemingly inconsequential. However, what I view or what I look up, it will trigger something, as really acting as a cause or a series of thoughts, or triggering a series of thoughts. You see, and these thoughts, in my mind, they appear as fractal patterns, and they give birth to really other patterns and ideas that keep that same fractal-like pattern. And these plethora of thoughts, to me, they seem to connect, or they do connect, and they form this multi-dimensional construct that sometimes I can even physically see. So Then after that occurs, then I start to research these various bits of information that I recognize as being connected and related. And through research and study, I find out that each element of these fractal patterns is accurate. Okay, so then after that, I record it as a memorial. I record these truths that are self-evident, and the end product are these installments that you listen to, that are simply just a reproduction of that which is invisible into a subjective reality mainframe which can be readily interpreted by you. And this would be the net effect, okay? The cause would be seeing something as minute as, let's just say, an ant walking across the ground, okay? And that will ultimately lead me to produce an installment on the power of, let's say, the subconscious mind and alternate realities. It starts off as something small as, looking at a fly or an ant or a bug, and that will trigger a certain thought, and that these thoughts, they expand in this fractal-esque formation, and then as they expand, I recognize more patterns and more similarities with other thoughts that come up at the same time, and then they all blend in and they all go together, and it just keeps going and going and going. All right. So the end result of seeing these patterns and putting them together, they are these installments that you all listen to. Okay, and the installment, I might make the installment the same day, or in a week or two, or even years later, but the process of thought and the formulation of patterns never seems to stop in my mind. Okay, even after I make the installment, nor does the aspect of time really come into play until I finally finish or acknowledge and learn of the importance of the completed thought. So when I'm in a zone, the concept of time doesn't even exist to me mentally when I'm putting together these patterns of thought, until I realize, or I stop myself and I say, okay, well, that's enough. And I'll say, well, damn, that took 5 years to come to fruition, or that took an hour or 2 hours or 2 weeks or 2 months, what have you, before I reach a point and I say, well, okay, this is enough. Now, I'm not saying that, I do make mistakes, and these conclusions are not always 100% correct, but come on now, I'm immersed within flesh, so the interpretation might contain errors of some sort, but the overall message will go out and accomplish what it was designed to do. So this is the multi-dimensional framework that I construct these installments in, and this is really how I think and how I formulate these installments, because I can take a tidbit of information and I can go on an excursion, and then I can come up with these various installments on various topics. And this is how I do it. I've always been able to really think in the abstract and recognize patterns and everything. So this is how I really come up with these installments. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if this information benefits you in any way, just know that it was most likely something as small as an ant or a vibration out of the ether or astral energies that was really behind it all. So yeah. Now let me get into the topic at hand. Okay, let me get into the topic at hand. All right, which is the age of Pisces and the angels or angles that ruled the age of Pisces. Ruled as in past tense, RULED. Okay, many of you already know that we have moved into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of knowing. The age of belief is over. It's not good enough to believe anymore. Information must be validated through one's own subjective reality, and that which does not compute with their frame of mind will not be accepted by the interpreter. You see, as we move progressively through the numerous houses of the zodiac, we continuously install automatic updates to our graphic user interface, which then allows us to acclimate more efficiently in relation to our surrounding environment, thus making our evolution seem consistent and without interruption. Okay? This happens at an unconscious level, y'all. Similar to how your body automatically regulates your circulatory system and the in and out process of breathing. Okay? Pranayama. This is one effect along a multi-dimensional chain of events which is caused by your consciousness or spirit streaming, interpreting data through an avatar which defines the soul of an individual. Okay? Now, the age of Pisces was the age of the fish. It is the 12th house. Pisces is in the 12th house and is commonly referred to as the house of the unconscious. The cornerstone of the 12th house involves the manner in which we move forward. Okay? In its most noble manifestation, we will be prompted to be charitable. If we learn our lessons, both quote-unquote past and present, we are also better equipped to move forward. Okay? The 12th house compels us to seek closure in a spiritual way as an aid to positive growth. Okay? During our movement through the last house of the zodiac, through the house of Pisces, it is common for us, for you, for I, to feel bound. You know, to feel, have you ever felt bound in life, stuck and confined? And for this reason, this house, this 12th house, rules jails, it rules hospitals, institutions, asylums, and any space that inhibits freedom, including religion. Because religion just simply means to rely upon. And if you are relying upon something outside of yourself to save yourself from yourself, you've missed an important point that you were supposed to learn regarding yourself. So at that point, you should really seek to more intimately know yourself. Know thyself. You see, this house can bring frustration, anxiety, confinement, and loss. It can also bring slavery, sickness, and imprisonment. And some people even say that the 12th house is the garbage bin of the zodiac. Okay, people even say, I've heard people say that before. They say, okay, the 12th house, the age of Pisces, is the garbage bin of the zodiac. But I will leave that up to subjective interpretation. But ultimately, this house is the champion of positive transformations. It's here that we stand on the precipice and determine how we will proceed. Okay? By visiting the unconscious and meeting with the quote-unquote past, we begin to glean what is next in our adventure. Okay? That's how you can use or how you can view the 12th house or the house of Pisces. Okay? It can help you to determine how you will proceed and what you need to do next in your adventure. Now, your classical astrologers, which were the original indigenous melanated peoples of the earth, have called the house of Pisces the Valley of Miseries, they've called it, the dark den of sorrow and horror, they've called it, the portal of toil, they've called it, and they've also called this house, the bad spirit. Okay? So the 12th house, the house or the age of Pisces, is infamous for having or possessing a negative stigma. Okay, the 12th house also rules hidden enemies. It also rules hidden enemies. These are the evildoers you don't even know about, in which many prophets have assumed avatars in order to reveal who these enemies are and the ways in which they might harm you. Okay? Do not forsake the prophets nor the prophecy. Okay? Now, a question was asked of this house. Okay? How do you accurately see its territory? Okay? All of its dangers are invisible. Okay? Whether caused by hidden enemies or even the perverted logic of your own mind. Even according to Ptolemy, the 12th house corresponded to that part of the sky just above the horizon where stars were obscured by the thick, misty exhalations from the moistures of Earth. Now, this would be the matrix, Neo. Okay, this would be the matrix. That thick, misty exhalation from the moistures of the earth is a poetic way of describing the matrix. And also, according to the Egyptians stated that stars were lost in and debilitated by the sun's light at sunrise. Also, many of the stars became lost in the midst of the biblioheliothek. Listen to what I'm saying. Many stars become lost in the midst of the biblioheliothek. Okay? All right? Debilitated by the sun's light at sunrise. Okay, so this age is an age of deception. It is an age of darkness. Okay? For both traditionalists and moderns, the 12th house represents a colossal blind spot, as most are really blinded by the light. You see, they're not blinded by the true light, which proceeds from the triple black darkness, or the unmanifested, which is the hidden goddess, but they are blinded by the bio-light, the false light, the great copier or emulator, which is the error, which is an error, okay, which is a bent or altered wave that is a byproduct of the already manifested. So people aren't blinded by the true light, which proceeds from the triple black darkness, or the unmanifested, which secretly is the big mystery, is the hidden goddess, but men and women are blinded by the bio-light, the false light, the great copier or emulator. Okay? All right? Which is a creation of, or a byproduct of, that which is already manifested. Okay? The Piscean age is an age of deception and an age of blindness. Okay? See, the invisible world is different than the world of matter, in the sense that in the visible world, if I'm harmed or injured, I can go about crying and blaming everybody else for what happened to me. But it's not so in the spiritual realm, okay, in the world of spirit. If I accept my spiritual nature, then I must somehow account for my existence before and after the womb. Okay, I must come to know that my choices influence the course of my soul, that past actions have determined my situation in this lifetime, bringing me to the right place for the next stage of my development. And that what I do now will affect what happens after I, quote unquote, die. You see, if we shift our perspective beyond this lifetime, the 12th house can take upon itself a whole new look. Okay? we acquire new responsibilities. Planets and signs here are no longer victimized or depraved. What looks like loss on the material plane becomes a sacred initiation or ritual sacrifice in the spiritual realm. Okay, and basically I am just revealing to you that there are good and bad things that can occur within this age, or within the age of Pisces. However, the aspects of good and bad are relative and are subject to your own interpretation of what is needed in order for you to evolve. So what is needed for you to evolve is what should be determined as good, and what is not needed for you to evolve is what you should determine to be bad. All right. Now, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces and the planets Jupiter and Neptune. The 12th house is ruled by Pisces and the planets Jupiter and Neptune. Okay. Jupiter is Zeus in ancient Greek mythology, which was god of the sky and the king of Olympus. And since he was considered to be the god of the sky, he is often represented as the sun, S-U-N, or Helios. All right. The sun is seen to be that which sustains life on earth and is what is commonly depended upon for life. Okay, the sun is what is commonly depended upon for life. Okay, since the sun, S-U-N, was relied upon for sustenance, it's only fitting that Zeus would be the god of religion, which religion simply means to rely upon. Okay, in the age of Pisces, Zeus was a god that was to be relied upon. In the age of Pisces, Zeus was a god that was to be relied upon. However, if you read the story of the Titans and the Olympians, it was Zeus that was responsible for the fall of the Titans into matter, aka carbon. 666, the number of man. Carbon consists of 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. Okay? Zeus's brother is Poseidon, the god of the sea. Okay, but here's the thing. The big mystery is that Poseidon is also the god of what you see, S-E-E. So Poseidon is not only the god of the sea, S-E-A, but he is also the god of what you see, S-E-E. Okay, meaning we live in a matrix in which corporate law is based upon the jurisdiction of Admiralty Maritime. Okay? Admiralty Maritime pertains to water, not land. Period. Admiralty Maritime law is the law of the high seas. Okay? Admiralty Maritime law is the law of the high seas. Okay? Or what the high sees, okay? Or what the high priests see, S-E-E. The masses of people cannot see that the water of Admiralty Maritime has flooded them in their original laws of the land because they have already drowned. The masses of people cannot see that the water has flooded them in their original laws of the land because they have already drowned. All right? The only ones that can save, or the one that saves, they are the ones that are appointed as life preservers. Okay, so the only ones that are elected that can save or to save, these are the ones that are appointed as life preservers. Okay, because of the fact that we legally have drowned under the waters of Admiralty Maritime, the laws of the land, the old laws of the land no longer apply. But since we are seen publicly as those that are drowning or have been drowned, if you've been convicted, then there are life preservers that are appointed, okay, in relation to Admiralty Maritime Law. Who are the ones appointed as life preservers? Your policy enforcers, okay, aka your police officers, attorneys, etc. These are those that have been given the de facto authority to preserve life. In court, attorneys seek to preserve either the life of the defendant in the case of a defense attorney, or they seek to preserve the life of the corporate state in relation to the prosecuting attorney. Okay? But ultimately, they work to preserve the life of the agents of the Matrix and Great Britain, which is why they have to be licensed by the bar, okay, which is an acronym which stands for the British Accreditation Regency. All right? Follow me. Whenever or whether local, state, national, or international, you must be a member of the British Accreditation Regency. All right? But through the capturing of law by Poseidon, the brother of Zeus, who captured the law of the land and replaced it and flooded it with the law of Admiralty and Maritime, and by the capturing of spirituality by Zeus, they have conspired to keep Earth on lockdown until now. Until now. They were given 2,166 years, which is the length of the Age of Pisces, to perpetuate ignorance and their rulership over Mother Earth, but their time is up now. Their time, as well as their agent's time, is also up. Now, let's get into the angel who lords over the Age of Pisces. Let's really talk about the angel that lords over the Age of Pisces. Barchiel. Alright? Barchiel or Barchiel is the angel of February and the ruler of Pisces. Barchiel is noted as the lightning of God. This angel is noted as being the lightning of God. And remember, it's the lightning bolt of Zeus that was used to cast down the Titans. Okay? Barchiel is one of the 7 archangels and is also known to be the ruler of Jupiter. Okay? So this angel, who is one of the 7 archangels, is also known to be the ruler of Jupiter. And the big mystery, and listen to this, the big mystery is that Barchiel and the demiurge are one and the same. Barchiel and the demiurge are one and the same. So, to all the fallen titans out there, remember that Zeus is not your friend. Barchiel is not your friend. And it is the energies of Jupiter that are responsible for your pain, your misery, and your heartache. Okay? These agents work against you in order to enslave you. They do this through religion. They do this through quote-unquote law, commerce, trade, etc. In Roman Catholicism, Barchiel is depicted as holding a bread basket or a staff. Okay? Both of which symbolize the blessings of children that God bestows on parents. Now peep this though. Barchiel is the false shepherd who deceives many by claiming to possess the bread of life, but he does lie. The bread basket symbolizing the blessings of children that God bestows on parents. Okay? All right? But you must know that these children are of their father, the adversary, okay, which is the adversary of the Titans. All right, These children are of the wicked seed. Okay, these children are of the wicked seed. So these children and this seed are all interwoven with Barchiel. Okay, their father is he who blinds the righteous seed, which is us, by the light of the Biblios Heliotech. Okay, so these children that were considered blessings are of a seed that is diametrically opposed to our people. Okay, and our people are blinded by the Biblios Heliotech, which is a false light. Okay, and the Biblios Heliotech is another word for the Bible, the book Bible. All right, now they are blinded, or our people are blinded by the light of the Biblios Heliotech, which is a false light, because the truths behind the text, that which is true that exists behind the text, is not fully disclosed. Okay, the truths in the Bible, which, like I said, the Bible being the Biblios Heliotech, are not fully disclosed. So therefore, one must conclude or deduce that the objective of the wolves in sheep's clothing that call themselves teachers of the scriptures are appointed to deceive the fallen titans in order to keep them in a state of slumber as they navigate throughout the high seas of commerce which exist within purgatory. All right. Barchiel, the angel of Pisces, is also the chief of the guardian angels, and it is written that Barchiel may be prayed to for all the benefits which the guardian angel is thought to confer if one is not praying to the guardian angel directly, but as an intercession. Okay? Now, when speaking of the Boule, okay, I'm switching gears here. When speaking of the Boule, and many of our people know who the Boule is, they know that in order to be a guardian or a gatekeeper, which is a characteristic of being a Boule member, you must be a guardian or a gatekeeper. They know that you must pray to the god Zeus in order to receive blessings. Okay, many of your Uncle Tom Black leaders, which are Boule members, if you research them or their history, you'll find that they are avid and devout Christians. Okay, and their job in being members of the Boule is to stand and guard the minors, okay, or the blessed children of God. All right, quote unquote. And the legal definition of a minor is one who is not sovereign. So their job is to stand and guard those which are not sovereign. Okay, so these Boule members like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, etc., their job is to guard the truth, while at the same time give the children, the minors, the illusion. Okay, what is the illusion? The illusion is that they are not the seed that they are. The illusion is that they are the seed of Zeus, okay, which is false. The illusion is that they are not the fallen titans who warred against Zeus and the Olympians ages ago. That's also false. Okay. The members of the Boule are traitors to the common principle and appear every time the titans are close to waking up in order to lull them back to sleep. Okay. So they are guarding the Boule, and the members of the Boule guard truth. Okay. They guard the truth. And when the fallen titans get close enough to the truth, which has the potential and the capacity to liberate their mind, the Boule members come and lull them back to sleep with Christianity and with pacifism. Okay. But they know the truth. These Boule members know the truth, but and they have to know the truth. They have to know the truth because they are the guardians and the gatekeepers. Okay, so they have to know the truth in order to prevent you from finding out the truth, in order to know how to prevent you from finding the truth. So they do know. They're not as ignorant as they put themselves out to be. Okay? And these are things to know and not just believe. Okay? These forces are the ones behind the scenes that are making your life a living hell. Speaking of these energies, okay? These Piscean energies, all right? In law and in court situations, they appoint agents of a common principle to act as magistrates, which confine you to the cells of imprisonment. All right? These are the magi. They work spells upon us through the art of spelling and trickery. Okay? However, this leads me to the good news, all right, at this portion. And the good news is that their reign is over and a new age has begun. Now, what does this mean? Away with the old and in with the new. Times can and do change. And by time, it's actually meant by age. Okay, ages can and do change. So by time is what's actually meant to be said is, or what's more accurate is age. Okay, ages can and do change. One thing that is certain is the law of rhythm, which is the fifth law of Tahuti. It states that everything ebbs and flows. There's always an incoming and an outgoing, and that the pendulum swing manifests in everything. Okay? And the kingdoms of this earth, they're going to start to fall. We're seeing it right now. They're going to start to fall. The ones in power are going to start to lose it. And many people that are currently occupy places of existence will not make it in the age of Aquarius. Okay? All these lies, all these cover-ups will be exposed and right ruling will be established. So the families that have made a comfortable living off the backs of others will lose it. And they'll be at the bottom. Okay, we're talking about this pendulum swing, which is a law. All right? The pendulum swing is certain, and the angels and agents that have labored to keep certain people down will be moved out of the way completely. Okay, and other angels will take over in order to prepare the way for the resurrection of the dry bones, of the valley of the dry bones. Okay, and protect them. These angels or angels of light will protect them against any other entities that might attack them from the previous age. But don't worry, because the angel of Pisces is legally dead. Okay, so anything that he tries to do now is going to be done out of a de facto position. He's being moved out the way. He no longer has the authority to operate in chaos. Okay, so there is hope, and right now this age is really good. The coming of the age of Aquarius is really a good news to our people. By our people, I'm speaking to the people that are called quote unquote African Americans, blacks, Negroes, colors, and all kind of other labels that they like to put on our people to keep us from gaining a knowledge of self. So this age coming is good news for us, but it's bad news for a lot of other people. Okay, so. And hey, and hell, we've been on the bottom for so damn long. I mean, it's time for a change. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I am Brother Prodigy. Today's date is April 19th, 2015. Signing off. Islam and Hotel.